Okay, this is a very interesting one for me as well. Our next session is sponsored by Deutsche Bank and looks at one of the biggest questions shaping our careers right now, AI and the future of work. How to use technology as your superpower, not your replacement. This is going to be a very exciting conversation. Remember, all your questions, if you have them, send them to the QR code and our volunteer will read them out to you. So let's get our speakers on this session onto the stage. Please join me in welcoming experts from Deutsche Bank. Leading this conversation is fireside chat host Eben Spiff, end user computing architect within the Chief Technology Office, and speaker Alex Asomuyide. Asomuyide. Yes? Give them a round of applause from you guys as they come onto the stage. Thank you.
Alex, the last team had a Marvel artist, music artist. We just have you. Like we're two regular IT guys, and I'm asking the questions. He has to give you intelligent responses, so no pressure, mate. So, Alex, do you want to go first, introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for having us here today and the host. We're sponsoring, so that's a good thing. My name's Alex Asomuyide, background in design, visual design, interaction design. I've been in the city doing design works over about 7 to 9 banks, just doing user experience, which I currently do at Deutsche Bank. At the moment, there's going to be some connection between me and the users, because without users, there is no experience. But that's my background. Everything else you can find on LinkedIn.
My title is a bit confusing. For those of you that think that it looks like Greek, I'm responsible for technology, strategy, and architecture for end-user productivity. So everything which you touch and feel, from your computers to your emails to your applications to your video conferencing solutions, I'm responsible for setting the strategy across the firm for all employees globally. Okay, before we begin, so we get a temperature check, how many people in the room, please lift up your hands if you don't use AI in any way? Anyone believe it's the start of the Terminator and Skynet? Okay. Well, I've got some news for you. You do use AI. Whether you like it or not, AI is embedded in your phones, in your computers, and if you are a digital nomad like most of us, if you use the browser, you have AI embedded in it as well. So you can't get away from it, and ultimately it should become your superpower. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Alex, I'll let you kick us off with it's a fairly easy one. What do you think AI is? Why is it our superpower? And how are we leveraging this within Deutsche Bank? I should know this, but how are we leveraging it within the firm today?
So first thing I'm going to say is it's artificial intelligence. So it is not smarter than the human beings. And that's what I think most of us fail to understand, that without the human being providing the data, the information, the environment, there will be no artificial intelligence. So as time goes on, look, AI doesn't discriminate. I'm so happy about that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in the job. But apart from that, at Deutsche Bank, what are we doing? We're helping it, using it to enable our people to get work done in a more productive way. So stuff that is repetitive, I don't want to call it boring. Everything we do is exciting. But if it's repetitive, we automate it. We've got DB Lumina, which sees through 90,000 documents and comes back with a summary of whatever maybe a hedge fund person wants or a portfolio manager wants, all in a few seconds. It still does not say we don't look into that data as human beings, because we have the responsibility for our clients, for our customers, for the public, in whatever we do. We've got other applications like Parler Chat, I believe, which is also another one used by HR. So you don't have to pick up the phone all the time. If you want to find out how many holidays you've got left, it will automatically tell you, because it knows your profile. If you want to apply for holidays, you can do the same thing. If you want to report that you're going to be ill for a few days, you can do the same thing. It gives leaders in that space the opportunity to do the heavy lifting and visionary thinking. Day-to-day, PowerPoint, Excel, Word, Teams, we have Copilot embedded into that. So if I finish a meeting, I don't need to worry about writing the minutes, Copilot's already done that for me. As a human, now it's up to me to decide what information do I want to go in that report or not. Same as I could say, from those minutes, create a PowerPoint presentation for me, right? I can ask it to put some graphics and so on and so forth. Excel, I don't need to write any kind of sums or equations. I can just type that literally to my Copilot, and it does all the work for me. So really, we're trying to use AI to cut down the heavy lifting that we usually do, giving people the opportunity to do more creative, more visionary, and more things that will help the team grow together.
And there are more practical examples of it from a technology perspective. Like, I am at the forefront of, let's say, end user support. Like, for anyone that works in a firm where the IT guys are your best friend, but they're very difficult to nail down. That all goes away because we now have a self-service environment where you can go on, ask a few questions. What do you want? How do you want it fixed? Personally, if I don't need to speak to anyone and I can solve my problems, that's where I will go. Also, we're starting to look at it from a coding perspective. Like, the days of writing code from scratch is kind of going away. But it's how you manage it, how you integrate it securely into your frameworks and products that you develop. So it's a huge part of what we do now. But with that being said, Alex, like, for you, what's the real opportunity for AI here? Because I constantly hear AI is going to replace you, but what's the value AI brings from your perspective, and how can you plug into that?
I think it's the transformation of how we work, how we used to working, and how the work environment is going to be in the future. Yeah. It's not going to be based on how many people are in the office, or how many people are online, or how many hours did you do. It's going to be a lot about responsibility. Security is highly important in our game, in our environment. We can't take risks. I would not say, download every AI application, it's fine. I need to check it. I need to know what the security on that is. We have lots of compliance, governance standards that we need to follow. We get audited at any time, unexpectedly. So in all essence, it's about using those products in a way that make sense, save you time, not unnecessarily just saying, oh, everyone needs to go and use AI. In the bank right now, not everybody has Copilot, not because we don't trust the staff, but because you need to look at how people use their tools and what are they using it for, right? And in most cases, AI will come back with the same result. It's up for you as that human again. It's that involvement of the human being working with the tool that's going to change the whole game.
Yeah, and I think if you read what's in the news more recently, there are many business ventures that are going on. It's not essentially your detailed knowledge of AI, it's how you apply it to realize real business value. If you do that, you'll always have a job. And I think most people, if you look back at it, some people used to frown at the internet. All those businesses that didn't want to adopt social media marketing, look at the internet, they're now out of business. So I think there are lots of rooms and opportunity for you to grow into different roles that will become more readily available. But I think, Alex, you touched on something, right? With these opportunities comes additional risks. In terms of cyber attacks, like you have agentic AI, which is essentially going to create more windows for attacks from unsavory individuals. For you, what guardrails do we need to put in place to adopt AI more widely? And more interestingly, what is the dominant role of the human in that loop?
So I think we're already putting those guardrails in place. By onboarding Copilot doesn't mean we are using the Copilot that the rest of the world, are using. So I, for example, couldn't say, write me an end-of-year report on John, because AI doesn't know who John is. I'm John's manager. I work with John. I know who he is. Now, I could expect to say, create 5 tasks for John based on this project, but I couldn't use that bias because AI would come back with all sorts of stuff. In that sense, in the bank right now, if I ask for such thing, it's going to come back, so unfortunately I can't help you, right? And that's standard because all that's been blocked by security of the bank. Now, I'm going to be very vague in some terms just because there are standards in the bank. There's stuff that I don't want the public to know about what I do or how the bank operates. That's standard for most businesses. I think right now, if you look at our security people, everything that goes out, if I mention a swear word in Teams, it comes back with stars, right? If I do that too often, I might get an email from above to say, why are you so angry? Well, we not treating you well as staff, or why are you swearing so much? That sort of thing, right? If you say the wrong word, so it's the same thing. The security is always there. We don't want such thing to go out to our clients. We don't want our people to act that way. So we're being responsible, right? It's the key thing. It's being responsible for what you're doing. I give you the tool, doesn't mean you do whatever you want. How many people use, I think everyone's used Copilot, ChatGTP. I'm going to ask the trick question, who uses Midjourney? Love you. So when Midjourney started, you say, give me a hand, it's going to give you a hand with 6 fingers. Right now, it's become very perfect. And do you know why? Because we have been teaching it to say, the hand has 5 fingers, it does not have 6, and it has 1 thumb. And over time, millions of us are using it, it starts to perfect it. Now, you might think that's a dangerous point to be, and everybody's doing their pictures in AI and so on and so forth. So is mine, actually, if you noticed. But there you go, but I'm still the same guy. Anyway, so I think, in a way, those guardrails are always going to be there, always going to be protected. And I think it's going to happen more organizations as well, because there's a lot of risk if we don't do so.
I mean, it's interesting. The first time I heard about agentic AI, I thought my chance to be 007, but in terms of what it can actually do for you, you will always have a human in the loop. Because, if, for example, it could be your email assistant, review your emails, send automatic responses on your behalf. But if you really think about it, you don't want to send the wrong thing out. Today, there are technology, bits and pieces which can actually verify that whatever agentic AI or chatbot or whatever it is, actually it says what it does on the tin. So we have guardrails. There will always be a human in there to verify it. We have various governance boards, and I think most organizations do, to actually determine if what they're using is fit for purpose. With that being said, I think, yes, it automates, yes, it improves speed and efficiency. It's like a brand new Ferrari getting you from point A to point B, but there's a people element there. How do you think senior leadership in different firms can actually manage that fear of no longer being wanted and AI replacing them?
So transparency is highly important to the people you work with. Let them understand what the tool is, what can the tool do. Bringing a tool into my team doesn't mean I'm trying to save costs, I'm trying to get rid of people. That's totally the opposite. Now, when Microsoft or IBM or Oracle say they're getting rid of 10,000 people, none of us know how good or how bad those people were in the first place, right? But it's good press for them. That, oh, now we've got AI and got rid of all those people. So transparency is highly important. Integrity, believing in the integrity of your people. And I also think accountability, like I said, again, is quite key, right? We'll always have people in the workforce. People will move on, we'll do better things. We've had calculators for a long time. Nobody brings out calculator to do 2 plus 2, right? It's when it becomes complex, that's when you use it. And nobody goes to look for AI when the building's on fire. You don't need to ask ChatGPT what to do. You either call the fire brigade, right? You jump out the building, take a run, or get a bucket of water. That's pretty simple. That's why you need the human being. We have got common sense. We've got empathy, right? We understand our people and the environment. AI does not understand that. It's fast, it's scalable, right? And it can compute data that we, the humans, provided. Without that, there's no AI. So it will become standard. I know I've heard people say, oh, it's a big thing. We're just at the narrow AI right now, right? Which is very, very narrow. When we get to the wide, we haven't even got to the super intelligent AI. And that's going to be scary. That is when I may not be on this planet, and it will be thinking better than human beings. So watch out for that.
Okay, so if, let's say, I didn't work in tech, and I see the future of the workplace, how AI is going, what fundamental skills, what technology courses, what building blocks do I need to put in place to have a more thorough understanding of what AI is and how I can use it to improve my day-to-day activities.
Okay, so as a user experience designer, I deal with a lot of difficult people, different people. People are different. What I say about AI is it's about the prompt engineering, right? I know several people here would have their son or daughter put the laundry at the bottom of the staircase and they jump over it all the time. Like they haven't seen it. It's right there. It's the prompt engineering. So I have a term called GCSE, goal, situation, context, and expectation. If you can write those 4 things into your prompt, right, the better the outcome will be, because it knows where you're going. You might not describe it properly the first time, the second time, fine. But it is all, I don't even think, unless you want to start building agents, yeah, there's lots of courses, lots of universities, but the day-to-day AI is basically your English language, well, not English language, the language you use, should I say, that you input into your tool, right? If you have a good description, it could be 1,000 words. You could write, look, right now I'm creating wireframes, I'm creating storyboards with nice prompts, right? I can create a whole cartoon of 50 pages in 30 minutes because I already know as a human what I want, what the output is. So it's practice, practice, practice. The more you do it, I mean, I'm not sure how many of you actually copy their prompts and save it and say that works. The competence level of that prompt is 10 or it's very low. The more you do that, the more you're going to get good results. So
I think Alex hit the nail on the head there. It's the language, right? I'm Nigerian. I speak to ChatGPT in pidgin English. I'm like, my guy, what's up, what's happening, bruv? And it really gives me that confidence, right? But ultimately, I'm saying, what do I want? This is the context. What do you want it to do it? And then when it gives me a really bad response, I say, it's crap, change it. And it's that iterative measure, but that confidence to try. And even if you fail, it's no skin off your back, right? And if you go deeper into it, for those of you that are techies at heart, there are free courses online. Microsoft has a plethora of options. Google has a plethora of options. If you're really, really geeky, you can go on NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA are the bedrock of the infrastructure and CPU computing which drives AI today. You can learn about all the courses. I guarantee you that when you rock up to any interview and they talk about AI, you will have in-depth knowledge about it. Sure, there'll be a lot of questions, so I think we'll open it up now.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yes, thank you. I have one here. AI models can inherit biases from training data, leading to discriminatory lending or credit decisions. What steps are being used to ensure this is regulated?
So, like I said earlier on, 100% we have very strict regulations. So nothing comes out of the bank to the customers or to the clients without it going through 4 eyes, not just 2 eyes. If a workflow or an approver is required, yes, AI can say, I'm not going to mention any companies, but could say that company was bankrupt for 5 years, or yeah, they're growing rice in China and they've been doing okay, but this year we've discovered there's going to be a drought, so therefore the profits may not be as high as they should do. That doesn't stop a credit officer or hedge fund manager going through those documents to see, because it's about accountability. I said that several times, right? What risk do we take? How much trust are we putting into it? So we're putting all these kind of, what do you call them, gate rails? Sort of thing, guardrails, right? And it's going through processes. We don't just do AI and that's it. It's not lazy work, right? That's why we've got 89,000 staff over, about 1,200 cities, right? And we do this vigorously every day because nobody wants to be slammed with a big bill or penalty, right? So since 2008, we've learned the lessons. There's security. There's lots of firewalls, lots of red flags every time, right? There's lots of training for people to know what to do at every point in time. I probably do about 4 training online, 30 minutes every month, just to remind me. Yeah. Do not say this on WhatsApp. Do not say this on LinkedIn. Do not send this. Do not do that, right? It's all for the security and the benefit and the peace of mind of our clients.
I mean, you're absolutely right. There are regulatory bodies which look at these things end to end, and we must adhere to it. From a technology perspective, there's something called grounding. So most AI platforms which are well designed, your results have to be grounded, verified, and then again, the concept of a human in the loop to make sure that at least whatever decision you make is substantiated.
Thank you. I have another question here. What kinds of new skills and talent are institutions prioritizing to make the most of AI?
So I think Python is pretty standard, right? That's the basics that you should know if you're going to go into that. I mean, you do Bitbucket, GitHub, all that kind of stuff. That's standard for a lot of programmers today. But I think mainly using the tool. Now we've started building some agents, meaning you're actually building prompts into the tool itself. That would entail you speaking to people. I'll give you an example. Currently designing and building an application right now that assumes to import several documents from maybe about 50, 60 countries, right? Different servers all over the place. Now, because I don't want my credit officer to ask the question every time, I just want them to import those documents, assuming they know, the tool knows what they're going to ask. And again, I'll take you back to the language. It's because of the way it's written. If the credit officer always says, give me a financial data or financial statement of this company from this month to this month, and it's realized that, it's up to you to know how you figure that out and how you structure it. So it's structuring the information, structuring the language as a human being, as to being a machine.
Yeah, and if you look at the bedrock of what AI is, it's built on machine learning, right? So if you're good at math, how you apply mathematical functions. I mean, you see people, quantitative researchers, like advanced mathematics, all that is reusable information. How do you work on large data sets? Because essentially the LLMs and the neurons are all trained on that. So that's essentially what you should be focusing on if you're coming at it from a technical perspective, as well as business analysis. Like, there is a massive part in how data is interpreted, right? How do you reuse it? How do you apply business value to it? Even to your day-to-day, what have you used AI in your life to improve? Those are real-life world examples that will kind of get you ahead of the curve.
Yeah. I think Google, Microsoft, IBM, they've got quite a lot of courses. Things don't happen overnight. You need to be patient, right? Nothing good comes in a hurry. You need to be patient. It's going to take long hours, late nights, and so on and so forth. So that's highly important to realize.